Hello, Outposters. Well, Dom was supposed to be here, and he's running a little late, so you got me for right now. Good luck. I am going to talk a little bit about, I guess good look at this. I got everything so messed up here. Can't get the green screen to stay in place. So I've got I did see Godzilla versus King Kong, and we'll talk about that. I wanted to start in a little bit, just kind of talk a little bit more about Justice League and some of the fallout that's happened from that, because it's been interesting, because we've got a lot going on with Warner Brothers, and basically there's this huge war going on between Warner Brothers and HBO Max. And HBO Max is saying, look, we've got piles of people that have subscribed. Everybody seems to love Zack Snyder's movie, and we want more of the Zack Snyder universe, because, bring back Henry Cavill, bring back Batfleck, all of it. And Warner has basically just washed their hands of it. Now, I'm kind of, I don't know, I'm kind of in the middle. I mean, I appreciate that we gave something to the fans that the fans like. The fans seem to like this new Justice League. I am lukewarm still on it. I think it's a well put together movie. It has a vision. It has a beginning, middle, and end, and it definitely improves the characters and how they interacted with each other. But I'm still not a big fan of the tone and the slow-mo and the Zack Snyderisms. I think everybody is completely unanimous on the internet that nobody likes the Wonder Woman music, the wailing women every time she comes on screen to do something. But beyond that, it does, kind of flesh out this trilogy much better than what we had before. So, I've kind of stepped back. If you hadn't had a chance, I did do basically a commentary track through the whole thing. Talked about what I liked and I disliked, and I haven't really changed on that very much. I don't feel like I just don't like Zack Snyder's vision of the DC universe, which is basically making Superman into Batman. Is it better than the Joss Whedon? Oh, 1,000 times better. No doubt. The Whedon version destroyed it. And I think a lot of people look and point the finger at Joss Whedon, and I got no love for Joss Whedon. The guy's kind of trash. But was it completely his fault that fell apart the way it did? No, I think it was Warner's fault. I think it was the Warner Media who put this all together. Joss went in there, took what he had a few reshoots, put in some humor, put in some jokes, did what he does, but he was a square peg in a round hole. And so, if you dislike Joss Whedon, that's fine. I get that you don't like Joss Whedon. He's not a good person. But in this case, you got to look at, okay, was this because Joss Whedon is so terrible, or because Warner is so terrible? And I put it straight on Warner, because it wasn't like most of the movie is basically the same. It's just a dumbed down version of it with inappropriate jokes, and bad character interactions. But the movie itself was torn apart because they used the opportunity to take Zack Snyder's family crisis, which those of you who don't know, his daughter committed suicide during the thing, and from there he could not fulfill his vision of the Justice League. So Joss Whedon comes in and he puts in a terrible version of it. But, it's almost like Warner wanted it to fail. And they still are keeping with that. We don't want Zack Snyder's universe anymore. We're washing our hands of the DCU. We're going to reboot. We're going to bring a black Superman, and we're going to do these various other things. We're going to reboot Flash. We got a new Batman with Pattinson, and that's what we're going to do. So they've got a problem now because HBO Max was really successful, and it's almost is it the best movie in the DCEU? I mean, if Shazam is, I really like Shazam, but I mean, as far as epic, well done, and put together properly, because even Wonder Woman, as much as I like Wonder Woman, the ending really falls flat for me. And Wonder Woman 84 was terrible. Suicide Squad is terrible. And Aquaman is just, it's fun, but is it really that, it's okay. But this really has a vision, and it has a lot going on with it. It's not perfect, but I'm just saying, is it the best one in the DCEU? It might be. It might be the best one in the DCEU. So now that he's put out what I would say the fans and the people think is arguably the best, and has really gotten HBO Max's coffers overflowing with new subscriptions and everything, who's going to win this war? Because AT&T wants it. HBO Max wants it. They own Warner, but Warner Media doesn't want it. And who's going to win? I would assume if AT&T owns them, they're gonna do it. So we may see Cavill back. We may see all of it back. I don't know. Sorry, Zach. We replaced your garbage with new garbage. You got to understand. I forgot to put up the Streamlabs donation link. If you watch at the bottom, you'll see Streamlabs. It'll come through. It's all through this thing down here. But that's our Facebook. Here it is, Streamlabs. So if you want to super chat, and I will read it immediately when I see it come up, definitely I will make sure that happens. But if not, just chat and I will read them as soon as I can. But I would appreciate anything and everything that you guys throw out there for us. So anyway, yeah, I think Aquaman has an octopus playing the drums. Yeah, that is a point in its favor. I will give you that. You can't. To me, it's kind of like when the second Planet of the Apes movie came out. It says, "Well, you got monkeys on horseback with machine guns." Like, I'm in. So yeah, I get it. Just admit you love Justice League. It's okay. I don't love it. I want to love it. I really do. I actually do admire it. I'll give it that. I really admire it, and I really admire that the fans and that Zack Snyder and everybody played this pitch perfectly to get it out there. And I think that the Joss Whedon thing helped accelerate that somewhat. Because Ray Fisher, I said that Ray Fisher was done dirty in the Joss Whedon version. And that's just, I think that they figured it out, and they figured out how to get that thing going. And we end up with something that's kind of unprecedented. I mean, sure, the Donner cut finally came out like 28 years later. That's the only thing I can think of. And we've had director's cuts like for Blade Runner and stuff. But this feels bigger. This feels like something that we thought we would never see. And so the fact that it's out there, I really appreciate it. I want to support it just for that reason. Just because it pisses off all the people it pisses off all the right people. I don't know if you saw one of the things that people were very upset about for some reason was that Flash scene where he rescued the girl. Now, I thought it was I thought it was fine. I mean, I thought it was kind of cute, kind of sweet. He saves this girl that she had made eyes at him, he made eyes at her, and then it's all in slow motion. And then he grabs a hot dog out of the air to have an out to make it look like that he was, taking care of the dogs. I didn't see a problem with it. And all of a sudden I started seeing all these articles that love the word toxic in it. And as soon as I started seeing that, I'm like, oh God. Now I like the scene even more just because you morons hate it. So I kind of liked it. Hello, Matt. Hello, Ebob. Hello, KW. Just loose rounds. Wanted to say hi to everybody. Thank you for showing up. Mr. Piccolo killed it in cross-dressing in JL. Okay. It was 4 hours of massive operatic and huge-scaled fun. It shouldn't have worked, but it just did. It's 4 hours is still a little long for me. Even the extended version of Lord of the Ring did it tip 4 hours? Maybe it did. I don't know. It still felt a little long. There were still some things I think they could have cut. And as I understand it, 10% of that movie is slow-mo. So that would have taken it down. Let's see. 4 hours is 240 minutes. So you could have cut out 24 minutes out of that movie if you just didn't have the slow-mo. That's insane. That's nutty. But yeah, I love that. Yeah, KW, I love that scene. And for them to be, it's like they're looking for stuff. Like I hated it in the Joss Whedon cut when the Flash ended up on top of Wonder Woman in an awkward way, and they actually had to film a stunt double to do that scene because Gal Gadot wouldn't do it because Joss Whedon has something about having some guy on top of a woman. I don't know, and so that was gone, and that I never heard anything about being problematic. But now the Flash scene, which was kind of sweet, and it kind of introduced him and showcased his powers and what he could be and all that kind of stuff. They definitely dialed down the annoying part of Flash, and they gave him an arc, and then him saving everything at the end with the time travel. Much better than him pushing a pickup out of the way, which is basically all he did. They had to push. They had to say, Superman, Flash, go save these people, because if Superman's here, there's no need for the rest of us. And that's still kind of a problem in this one. Poor Batman, what does he have to do? I mean, I don't know. They figured out how to bring him into the big world-ending situations pretty well in the Justice League cartoon, but he still looked like he was just trying to be useful, just trying to add value. So it could actually be 2.5. Yeah, well, 3.5. 3.5, because it was 4 hours. So 240 minutes, you slop off 24 minutes. I still think the ending scene also, the things I really hated. I hated that Martha turned out to be the Martian Manhunter. I hated the whole nightmare scene with the Joker. I hated all that. I think it undercuts. Those are two places where they undercut things that happened before. And if you know, now, I say, if you know they're not going to make another one, but maybe, who knows? Then, maybe they'll do that. So, anyhow, that's kind of my thoughts. I find the whole thing fascinating because I want to see what happens. It's not just Warner. I think there's this bizarre, not bizarre, but these needed wars that are going on in these media companies where people are starting to realize that this making movies to sell some sort of weird political ideal instead of just telling a story and entertaining people isn't working. You have people that are in charge that still think it does, and people that aren't in charge that because I will say one thing about Snyder's Justice League: there was not a woke moment in it, not one that I could see. Nothing that stood out or was irritating, or I didn't see anything. like I said, do I disagree with some of the choices? Like when Wonder Woman rescues all the kids, did she need to kill him and blow out the entire wall of that very nice, museum? No. But I mean, those are creative choices. I can live with. I just disagree with his creative choice. That's his choice. I don't disrespect it. But when they're making these movies just to push some weird political nonsense, then that's a real problem. So we're seeing it with Kathy Kennedy wing and the Jon Favreau wing of Disney and Star Wars. Now we're hearing about it kind of in Warner. We also have this happening with Star Trek, that the Brave New Worlds show that's coming out where Pike is going to be the star. It's because he was the only thing good about Star Trek, Kurtzman Trek, whatever they call it right now. All these wars are happening within these media companies, and I think it's a good thing, and I hope the right people win out, because what they're putting out right now, nobody's responding to, and they're losing money left and right, and sooner or later the money is going to win. It always does. So we'll keep voting with our pocketbooks. We'll keep because even when you get on there and you do a lot of positive stuff on Twitter, you say, I love Zack Snyder's Justice League. Everybody goes out there and buys the stream or subscribes to HBO Max or watching it, because the numbers they got on that was insane. Then it will. I mean, these people are just not going to be able to keep their jobs because they're losing money left and right with this stuff. So we'll see. Cyborg being the heart and Flash being the muscle, with Batman being the brains and the money, is what worked. Yeah, I mean, you know, at least Batman had a purpose, which was to bring them all together. So I do appreciate that. He wasn't completely useless. Having a useless actor play Batman doesn't help either. Well, you know, I mean, I honestly don't hate Batfleck. I really don't. I think he did okay in the Bruce Wayne Batman role. Where it goes from there, I really don't know. I'm hearing they're going to bring back Michael Keaton in the Flashpoint movie, the Flash movie, as the Batman from the, you know, the old Tim Burton universe. So, yeah. If you don't like this one, don't worry. There'll be another one coming. There's always a new Batman coming. We've had like 6 of them so far. Don't worry. There'll be more. Just if you don't like this Batman, just wait. Yeah, what is this guy talking about? Batman was the brains of the outfit. Well, I mean, who do you think it was? It's important that the lesser members of the league were the ones that were important. Yeah, I mean, I think that's, you know, that may be the only reason that Snyder killed Superman in Dawn of Justice, was to, you know, get this figured out. So, you know, am I coming? It's fine. I mean, I still hate the over the top Snyderisms and the slow mo and the overuse of epic music. It just when everything's epic, nothing is, kind of deal. So you can't just make everything look cool all the time. But yes, it's an improvement. I'm happy. I'm happy that it's out there. I'm happy that it exists. Snyder's Justice League was kind of rock and roll versus today's woke nonsense. Yeah, it was a little bit. It was kind of a counterculture, wasn't it? It was kind of, you know, sticking a finger in the eye of woke culture, and the success of it is really stuck a finger in the eye. It's like, oh shit, we're making money on this stuff. We gotta stop making this other stuff that make no money. Keaton rumored to be not sure on Flash, according to reports this week. Yeah, that's probably true. I mean, I've heard that going back and forth. I do know that if he does get on, he is not going to be in the suit, which is fine. I'm fine with that. Imagine Kilmer. That would be hilarious. like the Expendables, but old Batman actors. God, poor Kilmer. He's such a mess after the cancer and everything. He just, that would be bad. And then even, God, Clooney. Maybe they could dig up Adam West. Just put a skeleton in the rocking chair next to it, dressed in the old Batman suit. He almost made it. All right. So, how many of you guys watched King Kong versus Godzilla, or Godzilla versus King Kong? Hey, Paul. My wife and I watched it, and it's fine. It's not much more than fine. It's silly. I think my biggest issue with it is that the Godzilla universe kind of started out with a veneer of seriousness to it, as much as you can when you have giant monsters tearing into each other and tearing up the city. The first one certainly had that, and I've got my problems with that. Most of which is the complete lack of Bryan Cranston in the second 2/3. But I felt like they were doing something that kind of took itself seriously, at least a little bit, and it kind of worked it out. So you came here to figure out where you could pirate it. I wouldn't know about such things. Loose Rounds. You watched it. You liked it. Yeah. The second one was Kong Skull Island, and that's when they started getting a little bit more silly and in a good way. Taking place in the 70s and all that. The third one was kind of it tried to keep its seriousness, but it forgot to make to make a logical sense of the plot, and things were just way out of hand, and they didn't film it very well. Now this one really tried to say we're just going to embrace the silly, and I just don't think they went for it enough. And so you got this weird mishmash of I just start laughing at it on a lot of ways. So you've got first of all, you got Milli Bobby Brown in the back in this, and she gets her simp boyfriend's this poor fat kid who's clearly not there. Oh, Dom is getting set up. He'll be here in a few minutes. Good. Got somebody to bounce off of. So Millie Bobby Brown, gets this simp kid to go to Pensacola to figure out what happened to this plant that got destroyed by Godzilla at the beginning. And she listens to this podcaster who's I don't know if he's an engineer or janitor or what it's not very clear on what his job is there. And he's there when it gets destroyed, and he's putting out all these insider podcasts. So they come there, and the whole thing is both boring and funny because the whole place is a shambles. But they managed to find this very working elevator that goes down 33 floors into the thing, and they see that they're breeding skull crawlers for some reason. So then they get into this thing, and it's a hyperloop that goes all the way to Hong Kong in about 2 or 3 hours. And apparently this company built one from Pensacola to Hong Kong. I'm going, okay, that happens. And when they get to Hong Kong, they figure out that why they're breeding skull crawlers in Pensacola to get shipped to Hong Kong in the underground hyperloop is so they can use their Mecha Godzilla that they've built, and they don't have quite the right power source for it. for some reason, but they've built it, and they're using the skull of King Ghidorah, and they've got all this shit hooked up to it, and then the guy gets in the skull, and he puts on this thing, and he starts controlling Mechagodzilla with the King Ghidorah's skull. I'm going, what is happening here? I don't understand any of this. Okay, fine, we'll go for it. And they lose control of Mechagodzilla once they get the power source that they need, and I'll get to that. I'm doing this one storyline first. We'll get to the other story. 2 storylines, 2 sets of main characters. They never meet each other. Never once do they meet each other. Maybe at the end. I don't know. Okay, Dom is here. All right, hold on a second. I'm going to bring him on. We'll see if he's ready to go. Hello, Dom.
LMO, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Wait a minute. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay. And go ahead and speak again. Let me get you.
Hello. Coming to you from the COVID bunker.
Okay. How you been doing?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
Pretty good. I'm going to try to get your... see, I usually like to have all this set up ahead of time so we don't look like morons trying to get all this done. But since you decided to come on late, I've got to get this all set up behind the scenes here and then transition you in. There you are. Everybody say hello to Dom. You can't hear them, but they're chatting away here.
Or don't. I'm sure they are. I'm in demand. What can I say? My opinion brings in that I can crush movies with my opinion.
So we are just. So I talked a lot about stuff. What did I talk about? I talked a lot about Justice League, and yeah. And so we've moved on from that now, so it's too late for you. No soup for you.
That is 100% fine by me.
Yeah. Did you see it?
I'm not going to subscribe to HBO Max to watch 4 hours of something I could barely stand the first time.
It is
bad. I understand it might be an upgrade or whatever, but I don't care. It's an interesting experiment, but I do not care.
It is better. It's not great, but it is better.
Right.
So glad to have you here.
So I guess it's a win. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad we're doing it again.
I am too.
Let's complain.
It's been too long, hasn't it?
It has.
So all right, I think I got everything set up. Shermdog, E-Bob, we've got 9 concurrent viewers and 27 playbacks, so we've got a lot going on here.
Nice.
So welcome. So have you seen? I was talking about Godzilla. Have you seen that either?
Yes,
you have.
I have not seen it. I am going to be seeing it in a theater because Arizona has returned to the land of common sense and it's playing here.
Wonderful.
I plan on doing it soon, but my schedule is not the easiest to work that kind of thing around right now. But it's on my list.
Well, I can understand that. So I was. So are you okay? Because I'm getting into a lot of spoilers here. So
nothing is going to spoil me. I think since this thing was rumored to be going on, and through the first trailers, I pretty much got an idea that I think I know what's happening, and I believe I was one of the first, certainly won't claim to be the first, who said Mechagodzilla shows up at some point.
Yeah, I don't think that's a big secret.
And from what I can tell, I believe he has, because I think I saw him in that last trailer. So
look, this is a typical superhero movie. First, the heroes fight each other, then they fight the bad guy. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And
that's exactly what I expected it was probably going to be. I remember thinking it's going to be the Batman versus Superman syndrome all over again, where it's touted as they finally have it out, and that only takes up a portion of the film, and then they have to learn to work together or whatever it is. And
It makes a lot more sense.
I mean,
than Batman.
it's fine, whatever. It's monsters destroying cities in the end.
Well, just before Godzilla, is about to kill Kong, Kong says to save Martha, and
and then he says, "Why did you say that?
Why did you say that name?"
Through fire.
He blew fire up in the air. Martha.
It destroys the International Space Station.
Well, you say that, but
Oh, really?
so they start out. I was telling this whole story about Millie Bobby Brown and her simp boyfriend who does fat. They call him tap water. I mean, it's just it's so they're so mean to him. It's the one thing I don't like. I wouldn't call this thing woke or anything, but it is bad.
Right.
And they take somehow so Godzilla destroys this plant in this place in Pensacola, and so there's this guy there that does this in Pensacola, of course, why not? And
Fuck them.
And they go down there because she knows that Godzilla wouldn't do this unless he was provoked, and she listens to some crazy podcast that's almost like the Black Alex Jones of kaiju, and he's on there going, this plant's gonna turn Godzilla gay, and so they go down there and they meet this guy, and they break into the rubble of the plant. And in the rubble of the plant, there's a perfectly working elevator that goes down 30 floors into the dirt. And they find that they're breeding those skull crawlers from Kong.
Uh-huh.
So
I didn't care for those, but okay.
Okay, well, they don't have that much of a role in here, but they're breeding them. And so they're getting ready to ship one through a hyperloop that they've apparently built that goes all the way to fucking Hong Kong. Like in a few hours. And I'm like going,
I'm sold.
It's like, okay, you're kind of leading into it here. And then they get to Hong Kong, and that's where they deposit the skull crawlers to give Mecha Godzilla practice. So he's just tearing apart.
Oh dear.
But he can't. They can't keep the power going on him. So they're trying. They need to get
Mecha Godzilla introduced pretty early, or is that?
So he's introduced pretty early. Yeah.
Sort of last minute kind of thing. Oh, really? So it's not even much of a surprise.
The first thing he does is tear apart the Pensacola plant, and then they go to Skull Island. Now Skull Island has been completely Truman showed. It's a big dome, and it looks like it's the outside. But Kong realizes that he's in a TV show, and he throws a tree up into the sun, which turns out to just blast into the dome. It's like you're not fooling him at all. And
monkey's got brains.
The monkey's got brains. Well, apparently he's got more brains. They've taught him to sign language. Kong is actually a character in this. He is actually a character with agency. He is probably the hero, or if you want to call it, the protagonist of the movie.
Yeah.
Where Godzilla is more of he's a hurricane. He's just a thing. He's just a prop. So
he's the pro wrestler who shows up and just wrecks shit.
Yeah, he took out the folding chair and beat it over Hong Kong. So.
Oh, so they give Hong Kong a good thrashing.
Hong Kong gets beat to shit. So they say, we got to stop Godzilla because Godzilla is freaking out. And so we've been studying the hollow Earth. And we found out that the Earth is hollow in the middle. And you got to go down there with these special gravity ships that we apparently have now. Which we also find out that these gravity ships that can float and can handle the weird gravity when you get in the center of the Earth because it flips. They also work as kaiju defibrillators, which is nice. So it's good that you've got that multitasking thing in there.
Oh my goodness!
So they're building. they're taking him. They're taking Kong down there because they think he can find the weird power source down in the center of the earth because that's where he comes from and lead them to it, which he agrees, and they take him down there. Now, on their way down there, they avoid all the major Godzilla lanes, but Godzilla comes anyway, and they have a fight because action beat. There's no reason to have this fight other than action beat.
Other than have some good old monster bashing
it is.
in the center of the earth.
And I'll tell you why they have it, and they actually...
This is lunacy.
They actually say it because they don't want to make one win over the other, so they need to have them fight twice. So they have them fight in the water where Godzilla has the advantage. Round one, Godzilla. They actually say that in the movie. Round one, Godzilla.
This sounds amazing.
It gets better. And then Godzilla just fucks off. And they go down to the Antarctica to the special place that takes them to the center of the earth. Now, they have to go in special gravity ships or else they'll get crushed. Kong could just swing down there. He didn't give a fuck.
He's not here to beat around the bush. He didn't give a shit.
Yeah. So they get to the center of the earth, and then they have this neat thing where, like, it's kind of like one of those. It's kind of like a Dyson sphere down there. You know, you can see mountains above you and below you, and there's sky, and there's light and a sun somewhere.
Oh my!
I don't know.
This is Roger Corman American International Pictures release level insanity.
Oh man, they are not giving a fuck. They are not giving a fuck at all. And I kind of appreciated that. That's why I say, I mean, it's like the biggest problem with this movie is but is it really a problem? I don't give a shit about any of the people. I just don't care.
Yeah.
But is that any different than any other Godzilla movie since 1957? No.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, maybe no, because
maybe the first one.
He was just a vehicle for the American version of the movie, and I'm a big fan of the Gareth Edwards Godzilla. I've said it before.
Yeah,
and even then, I'm like, the people are almost inconsequential. The characters themselves, the people are kind of important because the movie's going for a little something extra, but the characters themselves, you make it, you don't, whatever.
Nobody cares. We just want to see, we just want to see monsters bashing each other. And and this movie kind of leads into that, which I kind of appreciate. So you're in the center of the earth, and this weird gravity, like in the middle, right straight in the middle, everything's just floating, And so at one point, King Kong leaps, and then he makes it through the center point, and so he flips, and then he lands on the ceiling or the floor now, because the gravity is on both sides. It's really bizarre. Then he gets to a temple. Who built this temple? I don't know. He finds an axe embedded in an old ape kaiju. Who built the axe? Why is the axe there? I don't know. There's glowing rocks and there's power in this temple. He sets the axe down there and it sucks up a bunch, and now it's glowing blue. So now he's Thor, I guess.
Is the actual hatchet part of the axe or the blade part of the axe, is that a Godzilla spine shield? I can't.
No, it is
because that's what it looks like
metal.
in the trailer.
No, it's a real. It's got some craftsmanship to it.
Wow. This is a movie written by a 14-year-old on cocaine.
Yeah, it is. And so then, in the meantime, the two groups get there, and the one says, "Hey, we found the power source." So they turn on their little walking robot. The robot goes over, takes a sample of the power source, and then he faxes that to the guy that's working on Mecha Godzilla. And the guy says, "Oh, that's how you make a power source. Make that power source. You got it. One power source coming up." Boom.
Oh my God.
He makes it. And they power up Mecha Godzilla. Now, Mecha Godzilla is controlled because they've hooked up this whole helmet thing inside Gojira, the three-headed one.
Uh-huh. Oh, he
one
makes
of his
appearance, huh?
No, just his skull, because he died.
Oh.
The last one. So he's sitting in the skull with this thing on, and there's big glowing pipes coming from the skull into the Mechagodzilla. And they power it up, and then something happens, and the dude in there gets fried, and they lose control of Mechagodzilla. I think what happened, it's not clear at all, but I think what happened is that the Gojira skull, like his spirit, went into Mechagodzilla and said, "I'm back," and he immediately kills the guy that made him, and he jumps out. So he starts fighting Godzilla. Godzilla, while he's there, he breathes fire right into the ground so far that it makes it to the center of the earth where Kong is. So Kong and them just climb out, and hey, we started out near Antarctica. We're in Hong Kong now. It's great. So they fight again until Mechagodzilla comes out, and then they help each other, and the axe loses its power, and then Godzilla breathes his fire on the axe, which powers it back up, and then Kong is able to cut all the arms and legs off Mechagodzilla, and then they kind of look at each other like, "All right, get a beer later, but I'm gonna go rest." Me too.
I'm sold. This sounds like just an amazing movie to me. This is right. That's right up my alley. That's schlock, and then it's a no fucks given approach.
It is
to filmmaking with the budget that could probably build you several Chinese aircraft carrier. That's amazing.
Oh yeah, they have a fight on aircraft carrier, by the way.
Oh, I saw the trailer. When I saw that, I went, I'm ready. I don't care.
Aircraft carrier. It was. I just had. I guess part of my problem in my ability to enjoy it is because I was getting ready for more of the semi self-seriousness that they've had.
Yeah.
And if I probably would have enjoyed it more if I had realized just embrace the schlock. Because as I'm talking about it, I'm realizing I enjoyed this a lot more than I thought I did. Right. My recency bias.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, but when I start talking about this, of all the insanity that's in it, I start going, wait a minute, this was pretty fucking good.
I am now a little too excited to see this. I'm going to see if my Saturday's clear. I might have to hit up a theater. Because we can do that here now.
It is funny. It is really funny when you start when you. It's one of those things. It's like you're kind of accepting it as you go along.
Yeah.
There's. This is great. They pull a Homer Simpson in it. That's just fantastic.
Oh no.
They're trying to get the password in to try to deal with Mechagodzilla. On the control board. You can't get the password. You can't get the password. Finally, the guy just pours beer all over the control panel. And it shorts out. He's like, problem solved.
Oh my god, how is this not going to win every Oscar?
It's got to. I think so.
Just pour beer on it. That's what they should have done at Chernobyl.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to be self-serious like this, then you don't lose Bryan Cranston at the beginning. But if you're not, then you should do this. Like that's what, like I said, the Kong was almost dead, and he just put the gravity ship on top of Kong because his heartbeat was slowing, and he set it to defibrillate, and boom. And when they say clear. Fuck clear, man, because this was a blast.
Oh, this sounds incredible. I'm a little too excited, if I'm going to be honest with you.
I'd say
this sounds like a complete reversal from the movie King of the Monsters should have been.
Yeah.
Which was a boring, horrible mess that you couldn't see anything.
It filmed through mud. That I will say... look, I like this better, and I had more enjoyment. I will say that the effects on this weren't quite where the effects have been on things like the original Godzilla and the King of Monsters because they filmed it through mud. And it did have a more realistic look to it, but that doesn't make it more enjoyable to watch. It just made it more realistic. This looked a little less realistic and a whole lot more fun.
So it embraced the schlock.
It embraced the
it's really
schlock.
Gone for it. It's like you can see what's going on because this is good old-fashioned, almost, retarded fun. And
almost.
There's no point in hiding it behind rain and misery.
There should have been more schlock. I would add another 20 cc's of schlock, and it would have been the perfect movie.
Gravity ship defibrillators in a hollow earth.
Boy, they did go for it.
I mean, if that's not looking for a grand slam when all you need is a base hit, then
well, yeah,
I'm okay.
So I mean, I'm having a lot more fun just talking about it. So let me see. Let me read a couple of chats here. Why did you gorilla grunt that name?
John Peener, the 2014 one was so grounded and serious. It was, and it mostly worked, and I admired its attempt at trying it. I didn't think it necessarily succeeded. I think 15 more minutes of Bryan Cranston, and he should have been nominated for an Oscar. I think I've said that before, and I still believe it. But
the more Bryan Cranston
see what was
you
going
have,
on,
the better it is.
Well, whatever. The guy from Breaking Bad. But King of the Monsters, I think, four of us started watching it. Two of us made it all the way to the end. And by the time I think Fenway Park is destroyed, myself and one of my kids who was watching it with me, the big Godzilla nerd, we just looked at each other. We're like, I don't even know what's going on.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, I cannot see it. I had to turn the brightness on the TV. And when you do that, you're just hiding how awful you are. Because I went to the theater to see Godzilla 98, and I know when I'm being played for a fool.
Let's see. I axed too many questions. Yep. Should have axed that part. Very, very good. I approve of puns. I don't remember Ghidorah in the last one. It was so boring I dozed off multiple times, says Shermdog. Yeah, it was a big problem with that movie.
Yeah.
Now, did you like Kong Skull Island?
It was okay.
I
got
thought
nothing against it's a fine film, and it killed time, and it was enjoyable, but it suffers from other movies where every Marvel movie I can say is once I'm done, within 15 minutes, I've basically forgotten. It filled time, and that's just kind of what it felt like. And it's nowhere near as good as the Peter Jackson King Kong, which I think is phenomenal.
Well, we've had that religious discussion before.
It's amazing.
Amazingly terrible.
It's not long at all.
No, it's Justice League long. That's going to be the new thing, right? Is it Justice League long?
Really nice poem. Oh God. Yeah. Okay. We're going to have to agree to disagree because we're going to throw down Justice League. I can't.
It's only 4 hours. Come on.
Shermdog, Pacific Rim is terrible. Deal with it.
Pacific Rim, it does have some good schlock, but it's like there's things like in there. Did you ever see the honest trailer on that?
Pacific
Rim. So
I was so thoroughly unhappy with Pacific Rim that I never bothered to follow virtually anything involving it after that. It's oi.
So I went. They kept saying, "Has there ever been anything that's been so awesome and so stupid at the same time?" And then they show like the Jaeger picking up a super tanker and beating the shit out of a kaiju, and he goes, "So awesome!" And then they show another thing.
That is kind of cool.
And then they show another thing where the hand or something goes all the way in a building, and it just gets close enough to set the balls that do this going, and it goes, "So stupid!" You know? That's pretty much Pacific Rim, you know. It was like the things in here.
It had potential.
It had potential, but when it tried to be schlocky, it failed badly.
Yeah,
I think. And then there was other things that it did. It's like, well, like they cut the kaiju in half after everything else doesn't work with the sword. It's like, well, why didn't you lead with that? And apparently, works pretty well.
Come out swinging because you don't want to put yourself at risk. If you're an alpha predator, you don't fuck around too long if you don't have to. You get in and get out.
I didn't find
And the
myself
other problem is,
asking.
and that's the other thing, the Pacific Rim, I expected more from Guillermo del Toro because his films, by and large, are actually pleasant to look at. Pan's Labyrinth, I think, is a beautiful film. It's one of my favorites. But
It's great.
Pacific Rim is an awful, dark, badly lit mess that, again, it takes point. Most of the fighting is at night in the rain, which, since Godzilla '98, that's just you're hiding the fact that you probably either rushed it or it didn't turn out the way you wanted it to, and now you've got to sort of keep some of that obvious, terrible-looking visual effects out of the way, or as hidden as possible, and that means darkening it up and throwing all kinds of filters and rain and all other nonsensical crap on top of it.
You know what's funny is that Justice League, the Joss Whedon cut, brightened everything up with red at the end battle.
Uh-huh.
And the Snyder cut darkened it back down again, but the Snyder cut looks way better. So that's bizarre.
That's weird. Well, I would assume that Zack Snyder probably just turned it back down to the way it was supposed to be. That when you overcorrect, you're overcorrecting it. Now it just looks awful. When you just leave it the way it's supposed to look, it looks a little bit better. Who knows?
Probably.
I don't like the style of either, quite frankly.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, a lot of the movies, like the CG in this one, it did get a little cartoon. Like there was something in this one where they lost the mass that they had in the other movies, as far as the gargantuan size of these creatures.
That Spider-Man 1 problem. You remember that?
Yeah, a little bit.
Just
a little bit.
Too lifeless. Yeah.
So, something was they were moving a little too quick and that sort of thing, and it wasn't terrible looking. Don't get me wrong. And again, at that point, it's like just embrace the schlock.
It's like, hold on, we had gravity vehicles act as defibrillators for 15-story tall giant monkeys.
Yeah, he built a
Whatever.
giant fucking hyperloop nobody knew about. Who gives a shit?
I mean, everybody knows that fucking Elon Musk is building one.
Yeah. And it was a floating gravity weird. It was, I mean, the center of the Earth. It was Journey to the Center of the Earth. It was, all of this was in here.
Throw it all in. See what sticks. It's either all going to work or it's all going to be just, a way to kill a couple of hours. And usually that's all anybody wants anymore anyway.
Yeah. Here's the kitchen sink. Enjoy.
By the way, it's got some fried cheese in it. So go ahead and scrape it out and live it up, fat ass.
I had fun watching it. It was a lot of fun.
I'm legitimately excited for this. I'm as excited to give you a broad generalization of how now excited I am to see this Godzilla film. I'm as excited for the Godzilla film as I am for the book detailing the wars between Disney and Lucasfilm, the tell-all unauthorized version, and possibly some Hollywood Variety 7-part series on AT&T fighting Warner Brothers to get that Zack Snyder, whatever the hell that thing is.
Well, I was talking about that.
Those are Hollywood legends.
I was talking about that earlier because I'm saying you got the Favreau versus Kathleen Kennedy faction at Disney.
Mm-hmm.
You've got this Warner Media versus HBO Max and AT&T, and who's going to win out on that one. You've also got the whole Star Trek wars and trying to get rid of the woke out of there. Paramount is doing their best. They're going to bring this Brave New Worlds with Pike's show, who was the only good thing about these things. And I think they're trying to make it like they're trying to get rid of the Kurtzman and trying to bring this back to a more traditional Star Trek. Because they failed so badly with Picard and what is it? Oh, Discovery, and God, that Lower Decks was garbage.
I couldn't even stomach the videos talking about it, to be perfectly honest with you.
I watched one episode. I was like, nope, I'm out, done.
Not happening.
Nope. So
I saw Paramount stock apparently is taking a big hit. So
yeah,
and I gotta think that outside of the novelty of seeing Justice League, maybe Godzilla will keep it going a little bit, and Disney with their issues with The Mandalorian, and apparently their subscriptions have plateaued. Now they're not even rolling out new content or whatever's going on.
No,
I mean, really
they're doing okay.
Lately. I haven't had the time, but
they're doing okay because they got the WandaVision, they got the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which I am lukewarm on.
Is anybody actually enjoying that? I haven't heard. I've had a busy week, so I really haven't kept up on it. But being out in the world, talking to normal people about just random regular crap, which has been one of the few things I'm able to do this week.
Sure.
I haven't heard a thing about it.
Well, I use my wife as my normie guide.
Yeah.
Not the MCU Star Wars nerd that I am.
Yeah.
And she loved WandaVision. And I think that one now I think the ending they didn't stick the ending, but it was still a very enjoyable show, and I had fun watching it. And it was pretty good. There's some creative choices I would question, but that didn't mean that it was engaging. This one, the Falcon and Winter Soldier, is not. It's not very engaging at all, and I'm just having problems trying to stick with it. Like this one, they were bouncing all over, and I was like, wait, who's doing what again? What? I popped out a review today, but quite honestly, I hope I had to use Wikipedia to get the plot.
Okay, I'm kind of, that's interesting, because if there's one thing you can say, it's that Marvel have been a tight ship where one thing leads to the other and everything has a purpose and there's little to no fat. So then to have just now at this point, we're really not into it. Nobody really, as far as I can tell, is actually enjoying it all that much. Is this just, at some point, they're just starting to burn out?
Well, and it's sad because if you look at the movies, the Captain America movies have been the strongest, I think. Civil War, Winter Soldier, and even the original, I think have been the strongest. The original has been the weakest of those three, but only in the last third of it. Everything up to when he gets everything up to when he rescues Bucky is it's perfect. It is perfect. And then they fuck, we got 40 minutes of movie. What do we do? Hey, we montage the Red Skull. He invades the castle. He crashes the plane. He's dead. We'll bring him. He'll frozen in the ice. We'll bring him back. Like they forgot that they had to finish the movie. That's what it feels like. So I don't.
Yeah, it's a little rushed.
Yeah, Winter Soldier is great. Is legitimately a great movie. One. And I think Civil War is better. I get that people say, well, Zemo's plan is convoluted. Yeah, it is, but it not to the point that I get drawn out of the movie. It's like this Godzilla movie. It's ridiculous. The things that happen in it are ridiculous, but not enough to make me go, it's more like, okay, let's go. The kaiju skull hooked up to a dude.
You might as well.
To control Mecha Godzilla? Okay, fine. I'm in.
Okay, fine.
You got a little robot that you got a little robot that can Wi-Fi a power signature that they could just create it on a 3D printer over there. Okay, fine, whatever.
All right,
I'm in.
I mean, you probably could have just poured beer all over Mecha Godzilla and saved yourself a whole lot of
trouble. Could have saved, a little Pabst Blue Ribbon. That would have been the end of it. So but I didn't. Civil War, I didn't feel like I was like going, oh God, what? This is ridiculous. I never got to that point. Because the emotional underpinning of the movie was the important thing, and that's it's like Boss Level. Boss Level is a convoluted, weird mess in a lot of ways, but
I've heard it's entertaining. You wrote a review about it.
It is so entertaining. I mean, if you watch it, you could stick with it because it's the emotional underpinning of the movie and what's driving this guy that makes it work. And and that's the if you got that strong core, you could do a lot of things. Inception is a mess in a lot of ways, but really it's a heist movie, and he's trying to get back home. You got that strong core. You can understand all those motivations. Everything else you can kind of fudge because you'll be with the movie because you're engaged with the characters. That's not happening with Falcon and Winter Soldier. I'm not engaged with these. And that's a shame because those characters in those movies have always been the best.
They're going to be important, right? I mean, this is Marvel we're talking about. Everything leads to something.
Sure.
So then what the hell is this for? I mean, I guess WandaVision had something. I couldn't care any less, to be perfectly honest with you, about it to even bother to watch. But
I really liked it.
I'm
Part of it was
the ending of WandaVision. There was something else because we're moving into the next phase of whatever is going to happen. So then, what is the point of this? Or is there no point? Is it just a passing the baton limited series?
No, there was a point, and one was to bring back Vision, kind of. Oh. And the other was to turn Wanda into the Scarlet Witch as we know her, as she's known in the comics, and to make her this big Nexus being, which I understand is like one of the most powerful people in the Marvel Universe. And I know she's going to be in Doctor Strange, so yeah, all of that. The biggest problem I have with WandaVision is that she's the villain.
Well, come on.
That was
we all remember. Never mind. I can't think of the title now.
Well, you could kind of call it House of M, I guess, but she's the villain. I mean, she enslaves an entire town, and they're basically saying, "Look, just let us die." And you're supposed to be sympathetic to her. It's like, we need to work on that part of it. I get with grief and all that. Right. Some things were out of her control. I mean, it's really striding a line. I'll tell you.
That's an interesting subject, actually. I could really see maybe you take the superhero aspect and a lot of that out of it, but you trim it down into a sci-fi limited series of some kind.
Yeah, I mean, it's intriguing.
This world and this. I mean, I think grief is an overused sort of story thing, but I could see that being a very good limited series with, say, some hardcore sci-fi nerds behind it, really exploring that kind of small universe. That would be cool.
Well, her character is definitely ripe for grief and that kind of thing, because if you look at it, I mean, what she lost her parents when she was a kid. She went through Hydra's bullshit. The Voltron destroyed her entire country. She lost her brother. She lost Vision. I mean, the girl's been through some shit, and her power is not. She doesn't understand it all. So the fact that she's actually as together as she is, and not a complete and utter mess, you got to kind of have a little sympathy.
Italian victory.
Yeah, you got to have a little sympathy on that. But yeah, she is a bit of the villain in this. But that's okay. I mean, if they address, it's kind of like Man of Steel, that how many people got killed in Man of Steel. And then they address it in Batman v Superman.
By moving it to the warehouse district.
Yeah.
Nobody is killed.
But that was Bruce Wayne's motivation, right?
Which makes perfect sense.
Yeah, that part I liked.
Limited context.
Yeah, it was handled clumsily. But I agree. But at least it was like it wasn't just hand waved off. It was Bruce Wayne's primary motivation, and then there's some things they could have done with that. And what I'm saying is, if they do that with Wanda, I'll be less irritated by that. But the MCU never fucking ends, so it's like a comic book. It never ends.
It's true. Well. It will end when you stop caring and we stop talking about it.
Yeah, I know. And I admit I'm a bit of a comic book, MCU junkie. I do have a lot of... I've been mostly a DC guy, especially in the 90s and 2000s. I really was into a lot of the DC stuff. And then on top of that, you had the DCAU, which quite frankly, for a shared universe, I don't think they've done better between Batman the Animated Series, Superman the Animated Series, Justice League Unlimited.
Some of those Batman the Animated Series episodes, I have seen those. Those are actually really good. That's really good storytelling.
Oh, they're great.
And I was really a Spider-Man kid my entire life, so after Spider-Man 2, I was like, I'm good. I don't need anything else.
I was definitely more Marvel when I was younger, and then I kind of became DC when I was older because I liked the stories. Now both comic companies have destroyed their properties.
Dog shit, and they're dead.
They are
Rest in
awful.
peace, guys. You were fun.
They were so awful. Dom, why don't you got it up there. Why don't you read some chats? Because I always read the chats. And now that you know how to read chats,
let's see.
I'm going to put
What are we talking about? Product placement. There is no product placement.
I'm delegating.
Nothing has been brought to you by anything like this cool, delicious Tecate Light that I'm drinking. That is not an endorsement, but that's brisk, baby.
I have Quick Trip. If you don't have a Quick Trip in your area, you're missing out. And this particular fountain drink is filled with Sailor Jerry's rum.
Pure, uncut Sailor Jerry's.
Mm-hmm.
Is that stuff any good, by the way? This brought to you by Sailor Jerry's. Of course it's good.
Yeah,
now on HBO Max.
I was a Captain Morgan guy for a while. I always get the heavy stuff, the 150 proof. You know,
you're like, I'm not here to fucking enjoy it.
No, that's right. But the Sailor, I enjoy it. Oh, I enjoy it. But the Sailor Jerry's, I think, is I don't know. It's a smoother taste. It has bites where it needs to, but it doesn't. You know, I just think it's a better overall rum.
If we could, there was one rum. I'm not a liquor guy, but when I went to Belize for my honeymoon, they had their national sort of rum. And it was called 1 Barrel or 4 Barrel, whatever it was. I wish I remembered, and I wish you could get it up here. It is, without a doubt, the best liquor I have ever tried.
Oh, yeah?
It was smooth, slightly sweet, didn't burn too badly, but it had a nice high proof, whatever it was. But I was just like, wow. If I could find this, I would be probably addicted, and my liver would have swollen to the size of the batshit crazy ideas they have in Kong vs. Godzilla, which is out now on HBO Max. Not a paid promotion.
Bring on Godzilla vs. Kong vs. Pacific Rim. I don't know. That Pacific Rim 2 really killed any possibility of interest I may have had.
Killed anything. A chopped cheese? Who's KW? Chopped cheese from the corner counter. I'm game for a chopped cheese. I like a good chopped cheese.
They want to know where the product placement was advertised most in this movie. You mean the Godzilla movie? Honestly, I don't remember much product placement in it.
I would assume there's a bunch. I mean, movies like this, they have huge budgets, and studios want to be making as much money as possible.
Well, China was
usually they make the budget back just on their product placement deals and everything else.
Well, before
the movie's released.
He had the place in Pensacola, and then he built the whole thing to build the Mecha Godzilla in Hong Kong, rather than just build it all in one place. And I believe that was to advertise China.
So why would you do Hong Kong? Because
that's China now.
China is having issues with Hong Kong right now.
Oh, they are, but it's still China.
In the end, it is. Well, it's the big part of China that you can recognize, and they hand out tax incentives like you wouldn't believe. I'm assuming that might be it.
Well, yeah, it's probably the only thing that's keeping their economy afloat.
John Piner, keep Pacific Rim out of the MonsterVerse.
I agree.
You are right. Unless you
agree.
introduce some Robot Jocks level Cold War stuff, because we are entering into some kind of a new Cold War before it turns hot. You might as well.
Have you ever seen that?
Robot Jocks? Oh, yeah.
Robot Jocks.
It's not bad. It's one of those movies that suffers from the fact that it's too good to be considered schlock, and it's not quite good enough to be
to not be considered
good
schlock
movie. Yeah, and my one video was Grizzly, and Grizzly's problem is the same thing. it's it's almost a legitimate film, which takes away from the schlock, and then it doesn't necessarily straddle that line where you're either schlock or good. There is no in between. You either go for good or you just say, fuck it, we're doing a giant monster movie and we're gonna have defibrillators out of zero gravity machines that fly around the hollow earth. Like, that is just
Why
straight
not?
schlock city.
Why not?
Embrace it, and we're gonna go for it. This sounds like there is no pretense about trying to make a serious piece of art. This is watch what we can get away with.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, clearly, I think it was Alexander Skarsgård. It's just, I'm getting my paycheck and I'm having fun.
Yeah, that's something so great about those performances when it's an actor. Basically, they handed me several $1 million and then just said, "Go nuts," and I said, "Well, watch what I do." I love that. You don't see it very often anymore because too much of our action films are now just turned into quasi-serious, nonsensical crap. Nobody just makes a film just to be a silly, stupid movie and let's get away with whatever we can get away with. Now it's let's have a message and let's do this, that, and the other. And it's like, that's like every Fast and Furious film after the first one. The first one was great. It's schlock. It's a drive-in movie. Let's see what we can do. After that, now we've got messages and it's family and it's this, that, and the other. And it's right. It's like, your first movie, you were stealing Nintendo 64s or whatever the hell it was. Go back to that.
I don't know. I kind of like that. I've talked about this before, but for those of you who haven't, I kind of like the Fast and the Furious movies because of the way they embrace their schlock, and it's like I've compared them kind of to the Transformer movies because they are at the equal level of intelligence, which is none at all.
Yeah,
but the Michael Bay movies have this arrogance to them. And it's basically like, this is cool. You're stupid if you don't realize how cool this is. Isn't this fucking cool? I'm the coolest.
Watch this car flip.
Yeah, watch these robots do all this shit. Look, Mountain Dew and Bud, they all want to be in my movie because this is so fucking cool, man. And it's just
French fries, you piece of shit.
Yeah, look at my down low upskirt shots and all of this because I got hot women in my movie because I'm so cool. Oh god, it's just so abrasive. And then you get to Justin Lin's Fast and the Furious. He's like, yeah, I know it's dumb, but you're having fun, aren't you? I mean, it's kind of fun. Look. The Rock just killed a helicopter with an ambulance for no reason. He just flexed out of his own broken arm cast. He just flexed and exploded off his arm. Isn't that fun? It's just so stupid. It's fun. You can tell.
I might have to concede a little bit.
Yeah, it's just an attitude that goes through the Fast and Furious movies. Like, yeah, we know. But come on. He went through one building, into another building, and then into the third building with a car 75 stories up. It's stupid. Of course it's stupid. But isn't it fun? That's where I'm kind of like, okay, you guys you're running down Rio de Janeiro, you got two cars dragging a safe on the chains. You don't give a fuck.
Fuck it. Yeah, but I like Michael Bay is the Benito Mussolini of big budget directors. It's this fantastically, what the fuck are you doing? But he is so sure of himself. I love it. Part of me,
there's no, that's the problem. There is
because it's not. But you get Michael Bay from Bad Boys to. I'll give you the first 2/3 of the first Transformers film. It's just, he's literally standing at a podium every premiere, going like,
yeah,
like that. And just, puffing your chest out. Yeah, I did that. Yeah, what do you want? I did that.
In my opinion,
I love that.
He's made one really good movie, and that's The Rock. And he's been coasting on that ever since. Bad Boys got him The Rock.
Brilliant film. I think Bad Boys is a great film. I don't know, great. It's a good film. It's a fun 90s violent action film. And it works. The Rock is as far as I'm concerned, near perfect action film. And I'm still to this day a committed, true blue lover of Armageddon because it is.
Fuck you.
It set the what? Oh no, it's great. I even like the Aerosmith song. I don't give a fuck. It's amazing. It is. It's the embryo of
Animal
where we are now.
Crackers.
And it did it. Don't care. You got to see Liv Tyler in a bra. What am I going to do? Complain? And they're doing it, by the way, like if I remember correctly, on Pad 1 or something, where Apollo 1 caught fire and killed 3 astronauts. Down there doing their dumb shit. It's like, this is tone deaf and brilliant. And your dad's singing the song over this. It's like, oh my god. I love it. I just absolutely love it. And you can watch it with the volume down, and it's still the loudest goddamn thing you'll ever hear.
I will give it credit. You do have Bruce Willis hunting down Ben Affleck with a shotgun on an oil rig. I can find something positive in anything, man.
And Bruce Willis is really good in it because you can't tell if he's actually giving it.
I think he seems to still give a
like,
shit.
You know what? They just gave me a boatload of money. He still cared.
Yeah.
But they're giving me a boatload of money and watch what's going on. But he's decent. He's really good. And Ben Affleck's not terrible, and Steve Buscemi's insane. It's just, and I always thought the best of the quiet moments in Armageddon were always the scenes with Will Patton. And that putting the space shuttle in front of the thing. It's like, come on, this is tearjerker shit. You know you're being spoon-fed crap, and you go for it anyway. And the panning shot when the president's talking about the end times, and it's a picture of Kennedy and kids running down some dirt road in Kansas. It's like, oh.
We just found out about this asteroid that's coming towards us. By the way, we happen to build two.
Dog, you're so fucking wrong.
We happened to build 2 prototype space shuttles here within 15 minutes. Got out the 3D printer. Never seen them before, but they're gonna rock.
We're gonna hook up rockets to those.
Yeah,
that are hooked up to rockets. And oh, by the way, we're launching them at the same time within a football field of each other because that works out every time you try it.
But
it's completely insane.
Did you load the chain gun? Well, of course I loaded the chain gun. Why wouldn't you load the chain gun?
By the way, there's a pistol in the ship. Why the fuck not? You never know when you got to shoot a Martian.
Wow.
This is amazing.
I will say that Armageddon does have its entertainment value. We got KW talking the day after tomorrow was better. The day after tomorrow was absolute crap. And it was only supplanted by the same people who made 2012. Which was beyond absolute crap.
I enjoy the day after tomorrow because it's the film version of an Art Bell book, and for that I am eternally grateful.
Did you ever see the South Park rip on that? The day after tomorrow?
The day before the day after tomorrow?
It's something like that.
Yeah, that was great.
Where global really warming is coming. It's like, look out! Ah! And it's like nothing happens. And they're laying on the ground going, "Arr! Arr!"
It's brilliant, man. That show was great at its time.
It is the best. They're like now we got to deal with the freezing. It's like it's gone down. It's gone up 1 degree. It's gone down 1 degree. And so now they're wearing these big old parkas and they're hiking their way through a very pleasant day, and they're burning up. It's like, oh, I'm so hot. I got to take this off. It's like, no, you're getting frostbite. It's like fucking 73 degrees out.
Oh my god. Oh, that's brilliant.
South Park is the best satire out there. It still is.
South Park coming to you on HBO Max or wherever
it is. It is on HBO Max.
Is it really? Did I look into that one? I thought it was on Hulu for a while.
No, it's on HBO Max, completely uncensored.
Boy,
although
HBO
I
Max
don't know if
everything.
I have to look and see if they put back on 200 and 201. If any of you guys are on the chat, you happen to be on HBO Max, did they put back on the 200 one? Did they have the balls to put back on episode 200? Because that got pulled off the air because of the whole Muhammad Muslim bullshit.
Oh, that's the Muhammad cartoon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did. They shit on their own network. They shit on Comedy Central for that because it was like
Those dudes had balls.
Oh, they do.
Orgasmo might have sucked ass, but they nail it with South Park.
They do, and they did. That since they wouldn't show Muhammad, they put in this like really cheap chintzy animation that showed Jesus pooping on like the American flag and on everybody, Christians and everybody else.
Perfectly fine.
And it was, and Comedy Central let it go, and it was a perfect illustration of their fucking hypocrisy. And I'm like going, you guys are so stupid, you just let it happen.
Well, sometimes they can't see. It's that saying, you can't see the forest through the trees. That's exactly what goes on with these networks. You can offend the right people.
Yeah.
And you know what?
Because they know they won't.
I believe that nobody's going to do anything.
Yeah, they know. They know the Muslims will come in and knife them in the hallway. You know, that's the Charlie Hebdo. The day after tomorrow.
What's that behind you?
The day after tomorrow and Dragon Ball was so bad, Emmy Rossum had to get naked regularly on Showtime to get her career back on track.
Oh, come on. Nobody saw Dragon Ball, but we'll take your word for it. Harsh.
True, but harsh.
Day after tomorrow is perfectly stupid fun. There's nothing wrong with it. Go to a movie to enjoy it. You don't have to be depressed the entire goddamn time.
No. But, well, Dom, I'm glad you made it. We've been going at this an hour and a half. We need to do this more. You need to carve out a day. We could do this, especially now that the movie theaters are opening. Things are coming back. Yeah. Getting new content on MCU. I know I'm going to definitely go see Black Widow when it comes out. And, you know, because
I'm excited to track down a theater and see this Godzilla film because this looks like something I've got to do.
Definitely. We may need to talk about it.
Sit there without my mask. Oh, yeah.
We may need to. I may need to get to. It'll just be a half hour of you just going.
Like in Mars Attacks when they show up in Congress and blow it up.
Yeah,
like they blew up.
They blew up Congress. Yeah. By the way,
great movie. By the way,
I was a little. I remember seeing that movie the first time, and I got the humor, but I was also somewhat horrified by it all. Now I'm like, yeah, bring them down, blow up Congress, blow up the president, kill them all, fuck them.
Don't care.
Biden won't feel a thing. He doesn't know what's going on. Okay. Outposters. You got any more chats you want me to read out? Send them up now.
Orgasmo is not great. Sherm Dog, my man, let's go. Come on. Oh, great opening. Ooh.
And the unicorn line is the stuff of legend. You know, I don't know if I've ever seen Orgasmo. I saw Basketball, but I don't think I've seen Orgasmo.
Oh, Basketball is even worse.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
No.
Have you seen their...
It would have been fine if it was people who had spent their time just watching like Naked Gun and Airplane and then failed to sort of put that comedy together. They just tried to hit the beats appropriately. That's what you get.
Have you seen the Book of Mormon? Or heard about it?
Oh my God, not in forever. Yeah, I know about it. I think I've even seen it, but I couldn't.
I've heard it's great.
I can't even remember. It's supposed to be. Isn't it a movie too?
I don't know.
What am I thinking?
I know it was a play that they did, and I've heard that it's hilarious.
I've heard great things. I know I've heard great things about it, but I swear it was a movie. What am I thinking of?
I don't think it was a movie, but I'll have to check. Bapa Booey. Thank you, KW. You can binge
Rest
a
in
month.
Peace, Howard Stern.
You can binge a month's worth of stuff for the price of a movie ticket, though. HBO Max is awesome. I gotta tell you, man, if you're thinking about a streaming service, HBO Max is pretty damn good. It's not.
I have heard nothing but great things. I'm going to be getting Netflix. I haven't been on that. I can tell you that through 2020, I was on Netflix to watch something maybe 3 times, and that was between Thanksgiving and Christmas to watch the Trailer Park Boys Christmas special. Beyond that, I don't care.
There's not
They
much.
have Star Trek episodes on Hulu, and I've started Deep Space Nine through that one instead of Netflix. I don't.
Yeah, I keep my Netflix for the Star Trek. I have Hulu, but it's going to stick in all the commercials on it, so I don't because I don't have the ultra awesome one.
No, neither do I.
I think they also have it on Prime, which I could watch it there, but I don't know. I'm just a creature of habit, so I haven't.
Yeah.
That's the reason I keep Netflix, so I can watch my Star Trek episodes and maybe a couple other things. I have been doing the Transformer series that they've been doing, which is it's okay.
Oh my God! How do you not have epilepsy or brain seizure issues?
Well, it's rum.
KW Howard Stern hasn't been relevant since 2002, 2003. Thank you.
Yeah, I've listened to him a couple times.
Sirius was death knell.
He made his money. He didn't care. He made his pile.
Yeah.
Douche, you were
I wish I could have that contract.
Douche, you were like 10 when he left terrestrial. It's got to be something earlier than I missed. We've had a lot of comments on here. I appreciate that, you guys. I appreciate all the views. KW, I was there, though. That new pirate show on Netflix is good. What's the new pirate show on Netflix, John?
I like Pirates. Is it like Pirates of the High Seas, or is it some fucking bullshit about the Pittsburgh Pirates I couldn't care any less about?
I do want to watch. What is it?
I've heard Black Sails is good.
There's a new show on Netflix. Oh, the Blockbuster. I want to watch that Blockbuster documentary on Netflix. The last Blockbuster.
Yeah. Here's my question for you. Why?
I don't know. I got some kind of weird, morbid curiosity about it and the history of.
Yeah.
There's something. I don't know. I've got piles of DVDs. And I used to collect them, and I would get nice box sets of things or the collector's edition, all this, and now it's all fucking worthless, right? I mean, I keep some of it, but it's just sitting on a shelf. I never use it. I am so fucking lazy. This is how lazy I am. Okay, I want you to know.
How lazy are you?
I am so lazy that I'll have a hankering to watch a particular movie, right? And if I don't find it on one of my streaming services, that I don't watch it, even though I own it.
Oh my God.
It's right there, Mark. Just go to the shelf and get it. Put it in there. But I'm like,
DY, buddy.
Oh, well,
buddy, I'm here to tell you.
Dude, that shelf
I'm here to tell you. Look we had the internet go out at my house for 4 days. We went without the internet for 4 days. And we had to rely, my kids and I, on the DVD collection that I had. And they loved it. They were blown away by the ancient technology. It confused them. It probably even horrified them a little bit. But they were completely enthralled. You can put the movie in and watch it.
Dude,
and they wanted it. And we watched a bunch of Mystery Science Theater. They've never been the biggest Mystery Science Theater fans. They're a little young to get it. It's my favorite show of all time. But they just wanted to watch Mystery Science Theater DVDs, even ones we'd watched already, just because we could. Trust me. That's an investment in the future.
Dom, that shelf is hundreds of millimeters away. I have to...
Millimeters for all you European dopes.
I have to switch the input to video 2 or some fucking shit. Fuck it. I'll just watch something else. That's lazy. Lazy!
I really want to watch The English Patient, but it's 4 feet from me, and fuck it.
God, I'd have to get up.
Show on.
I have to get up. Change the video. I'll never get that video to the right place back again. I
wasn't prepared for this bullshit.
I'll have to throw out the TV.
If I get up, I might get coronavirus.
It's possible. You don't know. You don't know.
Trust the science.
Black Sails. I think that's what they're saying that the pirate thing is. Peaky Blinders. I've never watched Peaky Blinders, but I did watch Lost in Space. Stranger Things. I don't know. Ozark. I thought it did end.
Got boring quick.
Yeah. They should. The one season was great, and then after that, it was like, it was the hero syndrome. They blew their wad with the first season. They didn't know what to do after that.
Yep, they didn't expect the success.
Yep.
You just look at it this way. Stranger Things. The 80s were only 10 years.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be like I was born in 1970, so the 80s are my decade, right? From age 10 to age 20, 1980 to 1990. So I mean, my high school years, my formative years, all of that 80s. And so you'd think I'd be really nostalgic about the 80s, but I can't be nostalgic about the 80s because the 80s won't fucking go away.
It won't miss something I'm having to have shoved down my face all the time.
If it never goes away. I mean, it started with Adam Sandler in 1998 or 7 with that stupid movie that he had.
Wedding Singer.
And then ever since then, there's been all this trickle of 80s shit. It's 80s nostalgia coming out. It's like it won't fucking die. You got to die for a while so that you can be nostalgic about it when it comes back. It never dies. Make it
At
go
some
away.
Point, the 90s are going to make a comeback, and I'm going to be, oh, that was great. And then I will be just like you. I'll be like, knock it the fuck off.
How do you get nostalgic about the 2010s? Because all of it is just rehash of bullshit that came before.
Yeah. I think we've reached the end of creativity.
Yep.
And what we'll do is we'll go back. So the 2010s, when it's their turn, which will be like probably somewhere between 2030 and 2040, we'll revert back to the 1940s or 1950s because that'll be 100 years ago. We have video and audio evidence that the decade did in fact exist, and we'll do it all over again.
We'll do the 1880s. We'll just have
suits and all kinds of shit makes a comeback.
Let's do 1880s, saloons and gunfights. Like, fuck, that's it. Society's over. America's done. Last one out. Shut out the lights.
Shut up. Turn the light. Oh, fuck it. If you turn them out, then somebody's just going to try and get you to buy a timeshare.
Well, this is one of our more successful streams, Dom, because we had
absolutely.
We had up to 15
we had active,
concurrent
engaged
burners.
Customer care.
Yes, we did. I had too many chats to actually go through, and that's a first here.
That's true, DC. The English Patient is a horribly overrated film.
It is.
The only thing that anybody remembers about it is it was a Seinfeld episode.
KW says only own 3 DVDs: Big Trouble in Little China, Army of Darkness, and The Making of Army of Darkness. KW, I approve. I approve wholeheartedly. If you're only going to own 3, well done.
You should own 4 and have The Making of Big Trouble in Little China.
That one's optional. But if you only own 3, and those are the 3, I can't find any fault in that.
You're batting 1,000, but you could be batting 2,000 if you want.
All right, so that's an hour and 43 minutes I have subjected everybody to.
Ooh.
You guys are awesome, and we will try to do this more. Hang in there. We got entertainment coming finally again.
Allegedly.
So
if you're in New York, you're living in entertainment.
Yeah. Well, depends on. Some of you are. If you're an Asian lady walking outside of a Target, you're not.
You're not.
You are the entertainment, not in a good way.
Oh.
Well, I'm sorry, but if everybody's sitting there looking at that goddamn video,
is terrible.
And going, oh, that's terrible. Let me watch it again. Oh, that's horrible. Let me watch it again. Fuck you.
It's it's layers of awful. Everybody watching it multiple times. The video itself of a horrible attack on an innocent person, and then the very few people you see that aren't directly involved in it basically just don't do anything.
They shut the doors. They shut the fucking doors.
Shut the doors. We can't deal with this. Bourgeois scum, you're a little bit late. Do better next time.
35 minutes into Kong versus Godzilla. It's not impressive me. You're too straight to breed trees, but too dumb to be straight. You know, I could see why you'd think that. I kind of felt that way. I think it started going full schlock a little later on. Once they all get to Hong Kong, that's when the schlock really amps up. But it did take a lot. So, enjoy it for what it is. Enjoy the stupid.
Hey, you're in the last days of Rome. Okay?
That's right.
At this point, we're headed to the dark ages.
We'll take whatever the hell we can get at this point.
Yeah, right.
All right, so I will let you go, Dom. Take care. We will go ahead and...
no.
Why? What you got?
What will become of my tomorrows? Nothing.
I can't get you
and people of Rome.
You keep doing stuff with your family and shit all the time.
I know, I'm so busy. Fucking ridiculous.
Christ. I mean, how are we supposed to keep this thing going when I can barely nail down any schedule for you?
Find a way. We'll find a way. And I gotta, by the way, I got a video I'm still working on. Dr. Strangelove. Spoiler alert. It's about Dr. Strangelove. I'm at 2,000 words. I have 24 images, a trailer captured, and I'm now hunting down scenes. And I plan on doing it like a professional.
So...
Just kidding. It's going to be a drunken mess.
Well, that's what mine are. I've got a part 2 of my James Bond. I've got 33 minutes of it completed, and I know it's at least for my voiceover, an hour and 15 minutes.
Okay.
And
Let's go.
I'm sure it's going to grow from there because I'm always sticking in little jokes and stupid moments and things I think are funny, and we'll kind of go from there. So that's why it's taking me so long to get new video up, because this one is becoming a monster. But I will wrestle it to the ground before it wraps my computer around a telephone pole.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. Yes, I'm mixing my metaphors. I don't care.
Whatever. It's Friday night.
Okay. Was it as funny as the loudmouths who got shot by their neighbor over the snow? Yes. Dr. Strangelove is my favorite adventure. No, that's 2 words. Dr. Strange Love.
Yeah.
That's his 3rd movie, and it's going
Dr. Strangelove.
Yeah.
And the Secret of the Surprise Hello.
That's right. That's Doctor Strange 3, and boy, does it take a bizarre turn. Boy, you didn't see that coming. Did you say coming? Shut up. All right. Thank you very much, everybody.
Case of the late cycle.
Yeah. I thought you were using the rhythm method.
The rhythm method.
She told me she was 18.
Dr. Strangelove, and it enters the dark realm.
Oh, God.
There goes our sponsorship.
Wow. YouTube, and we're demonetized. We're pre-demonetized.
That's how you don't get pregnant.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone, and we will see you on the next stream. Because if I don't close down this stream now, I'm pretty sure we're going to get arrested.